Hello and welcome back to Acts with Ashley, the reflective series on the Acts of the Apostles. This week I will be continuing to reflect on a few verses from chapter 1. Acts chapter 1, verse 12 to verse 14. Then they returned to Jerusalem from the mount called Olivet, which is near Jerusalem, a Sabbath day's walk away. When they had entered the city, they went to the room upstairs where they were staying, Peter and John and James and Andrew, Philip and Thomas, Bartholomew and Matthew, James son of Alphaeus, and Simon the Zealot, and Judas son of James. These were all constantly devoting themselves to prayer, together with certain women, including Mary, the mother of Jesus, as well as his brothers. Luke tells us what the disciples do next. They come down from the Mount of Olives and return to Jerusalem to pray. Now the Mount of Olives was a grove of olive trees on a hill just east of Jerusalem. The important fruits which these provided were used for making cooking oil. But olive oil was not only used for this purpose, it was also used for anointing kings and priests, and is still used widely in the church today. This hill would have been no more than 1 kilometre or 2/3 of a mile from Jerusalem. This was because the law prohibited them from walking more than this distance on the Sabbath. When they got to Jerusalem, the disciples returned to the room where they were staying. In Luke's Gospel account, the disciples had eaten the Passover meal with Jesus in the upper room. The room where they met to pray and in which they were staying is likely the same room. Luke mentions all the disciples who are present, except Judas Iscariot. This is because he had betrayed Jesus and had afterwards fled and killed himself. There were women present in the gathering, and Luke shows that these women were important by making mention of them. This is likely because they had travelled from Galilee with Jesus and the disciples. Many of them would likely have been at the crucifixion and witnessed Jesus' death firsthand, especially his mother Mary. We see Mary with Jesus' brothers were also gathered there to pray as part of the group. This group would have likely included James, who later became a leader in the church in Jerusalem.